Hello everyone, this is Victor for PhoneArena, and today we're taking a look at a cute, interesting 7-inch tablet, the Huawei MediaPad 7 Lite. It's a 7-inch tablet, as you probably have already guessed by the name, and that's how it looks like. It's right here in its retail box. As you can see, we'll just take this away to take a better look at the 7-incher. So that's what you get, a 7-inch tablet that's a standard slab, a unibody metal design, which looks pretty neat for the most part. So does it stand any chance against the Nexus 7 and other 7-inch tablets? Let's take a deeper look. It is a pretty daunting task to make a tablet that stands out from the rest in terms of design, mostly because the tablet is just a screen on the front side. And that's what we have here in the MediaPad 7 Lite. So you have a pretty big bezel. You can comfortably place your thumb here and hold the device without having your finger in the way. So that's a nice feature. On the front you also have a VGA camera. Let's take a look at the sides. Here you have a SIM slot, and we'll speak about this in much more detail later on, as there's a micro SD card slot for expanding the 8 gigabytes of internal storage. There's a volume rocker here, the lock button. On the back you see the device is made out of aluminum. That's a really nice touch. It's a unibody aluminum design. There are two white plastic straps right here, and those are for the connectivity slots, the connectivity radios actually. And finally on the bottom there is a mic. See a micro USB standard charging port and a 3.5mm headset jack. Overall, the device feels pretty solid in the hand. The only slight issue we have with the design is the fact that right here you probably noticed the plastic seems a bit wavered. It's not perfectly even, as is the aluminum surface. You can see this probably an issue only on our unit, but just something to keep in mind. Overall, the device is pretty thick for a contemporary tablet. It measures around 11 millimeters, 0.43 inches of thickness, and it's not too heavy, pretty comfortable to hold. The screen on the MediaPad Lite is a 7-inch one, and it's one of its biggest assets actually. You have a 1024 by 600 pixel resolution. That's a decent pixel density, nothing outstanding actually, but the display is of the IPS type, IPS LCD, and that means that even at more extreme angles you don't have the colors washed out, so it's pretty good viewing angles. Still, when you're outdoors you have trouble really using the tablet, especially when it's sunny, as is with most LCD displays. So when it comes to the interface of the 7-inch MediaPad, it runs on Android 4.0 Ice Cream Sandwich. And what's interesting is that right from the lock screen actually, you can go into the phone function. And yes, that's right, this tablet features a full-on SIM slot, so you can put in your carrier card, and that's not just the data card. You can plug in anything really, just your carrier card. You can use it to actually take and make calls. With one thing to have in mind, this tablet doesn't have an earpiece, so whenever you take a call you'd have to either use the speakerphone, the loudspeaker, or just go with the Bluetooth headset. Still, that functionality is there. That's what makes the tablet stand out, and that's one of its key features. Except for the somewhat strange phone function, that is a good addition. We have the almost standard Android 4.0 Ice Cream Sandwich, and that's a good thing. You have the newest APIs for supporting most of the applications, and if you take a closer look at ICS, you see that here there are almost no additional apps by Huawei. The only exception we found right here is the DLNA app, and that's a file sharing application that allows you to beam your music, photos, or videos to other DLNA capable devices. Now, when it comes to the speed and the smoothness of the interface, we have a few issues with it. It's not perfectly smooth, and that's probably due to the 1.2 GHz single-core processor that Huawei has used in this tablet right here. Let's just skip the orientation. Here we go, and you can see how it runs right here. Just a slight bit of a lag, which becomes more noticeable when there is something going on in the background. This device does support both 3G via SIM card through your carrier, so you have cellular data, and you also have Wi-Fi. And right now we're connected to a Wi-Fi network, and we'll just try and load up our website, PhoneArena.com. What you'd notice is the somewhat peculiar way the keys are arranged. For example, in Chrome right here, we don't have the space key in the address bar. You have to go into the numbers menu to have the space key. That's a bit of an inconvenience, nothing major here. So let's just type our website and see how quick it loads and how well it loads. It's a pretty graphically intensive website. We have an image for every article. You're gonna see it in a minute. And boom, here we go. Still loading. Everything renders pretty smoothly. And of course the browser supports pinch to zoom, and you can pan around like this. The MediaPad comes with a 3 megapixel fixed focus camera. What does fixed focus mean? It means that focus is fixed, so you can't really shoot macro. When you get up close to your object, the things get blurred. But otherwise, color representation was pretty accurate. The image lacked a bit of a detail, nothing too tragic. And for a tablet camera, really there's nothing more we could ask for. It's nothing top-notch, just your mediocre tablet camera. Up front you have a VGA front-facing camera, of course, which is good for Skype calls and video conferencing in general. One of the biggest advantages of having an Android run on a 7-inch screen is the fact that you can have this multi-pane layout for your email, and in some other apps it works as well. For example, here you can just look at an email contents and your inbox drafts and everything. You can go into the calendar as well. You can see how it's laid out pretty neatly with your monthly view on this right side right here, and on the left side you have a bigger weekly view. Pretty practical for daily use in these applications. Really, one thing that we would change about this tablet is its slowish 1.2 GHz Cortex-A8 based processor. This really last year's or even earlier hardware, and we don't like seeing it on contemporary devices like this one. You can see that right here in the Quadrant Standard benchmark, we'll get one of the lowest scores we've seen in a long while. The tablet does have 1 GB of RAM though, and that's a good thing. So let's see how well it does on the Quadrant Standard Edition test that we're running right now. We'll compare the device results to some other tablets we've seen, and you can see right here the score is a paltry 1036. That's lower than the Samsung Nexus S, which is the 2010 Samsung Android Nexus flagship. That's just to give you an idea about just how fast the processor here is. And the 7-inch screen is a great asset for video games, and watching movies on this screen is a pretty nice experience. And here is Jetpack Joyride running smooth on the Huawei MediaPad 7 Lite. The 7-incher also plays back 720p video with ease, so no problem here. As you can see, that's the video quality. That's also DivX, Xvid, encoded movies, no problem. Of course, you have many apps in the Google Play Store that you can use for that purpose. The battery on the 7-inch MediaPad is rated to last between 4 and 5 hours, and this number actually stands true to life. In our daily usage, we found that the battery lasted just as much. In conclusion, it seems that one of the biggest advantages of the 7-inch MediaPad is the fact that it supports 3G connectivity, as well as the opportunity to pop in your SIM card and use the tablet as a phone. And that's not much of a practical advantage, but that's something that little other devices have in the same price range and in the same form factor. And in this case, there's nothing much to make it stand out and compete against rivals like the Nexus 7, which sells for $199, $60 more affordable than this $260 tablet. So whether you pick this one or the Nexus 7 is really a matter of whether you want to use the phone function, because in practically every other way, the Nexus 7 or some other 7-inch tablets, like for example the Galaxy Tab 2 7.0, are better than this device. They're slimmer, they have a faster processor, a newer version of the Android operating system. So if you want the phone functionality, this is one option that would be on the table. If not, better look elsewhere. And for a more detailed review of the Huawei MediaPad 7 Lite, check out PhoneArena.com. Thank you for watching.